wanted to do this project because I was angry at what I had heard, things that I had seen, and I thought it was really important that other people should see this. The first women that I met when I started this project repeated the same things that I had been reading about for years, 8, 9 years later, and they were saying the same things. I met 3 women who've been called a dog. I met a woman who'd been told that she could be killed and no one would know. I met women who had suffered such staggering abuse. I met a woman who came home in a wheelchair. She had to wheel herself to walk because they were too poor to afford medical treatment. I met a woman who was blind. She'd been made blind because she was hit with a metal pipe. We met another young woman who was perhaps sold or given away to a police official who should have known better. She has no idea how old she was. Couldn't have been much older than the child she was given to take care of. She was possibly 7. She didn't leave until maybe age 18. At one point, we met a pregnant woman who had been raped. Sexual abuse is common in these situations. And I met people like this because also they were mothers. They went out to be migrants and to work in another country so they could better educate their children, so they could feed their children. This woman had been abandoned by her husband. She was having a tough time and she was struggling to educate them, and that's all she wanted was to educate her 3 daughters. And while she was abroad, the family tried to force her into a family-run brothel. And she fought back, and they fought her, and they beat her, and they beat her. Worse, this woman's been abandoned by her family. Once they found out what had happened to her, they spit on her, they wanted nothing to do with her, and they walked away. I've heard about women who came home in a coma. I've heard about women who came home in a coffin. This abuse is lifelong. It isn't just a one-off. It isn't just about hitting a person once. The first step, I think, for change is that these domestic work has to be recognized as work. They need to be treated like human beings. And right now, they're not being treated like human beings. They're being treated like property. They're being treated like barnyard animals, or worse. I think Convention 189 is the beginning of huge change that has to come. Governments need to say to their societies that this kind of behavior and what is going on in the privacy of homes is unacceptable. They need to send a signal. How are they going to do that? It begins by ratifying the convention, and from that flows changes in laws, changes in procedures, and maybe somewhere down the road, changes in attitudes and the way society behaves toward other human beings.